Hi friends, welcome back to the Language Tutor. Well, today friends, I have a lesson for you that I believe is going to be very beneficial to you. I hope it won't, but it could be very beneficial to you when you're traveling to other countries. So today I want to talk to you about some health-related terms, body parts. We're just going to get those things down because in the next lesson, we're going to talk about how to state what hurts. And so it's important that you know these words because I promise you, I've traveled to many countries and I have seen people get sick before. Believe me, more than once. Usually when I travel, somebody does get sick at some point. So it is good to know how to state symptoms and discuss what's going on. So I would get some, paper and pencil ready. Today is going to be a lot of vocabulary words. You may want to watch this lesson time after time and over and get these words down because we're going to have a lot of vocabulary today, which is good. We need to bring in as many words as we can. So get ready to write. Here we go. And we're going to start with parts of the body. We're just going to start up here and kind of work down, okay? So first of all, the head is cabeza, cabeza. And our eyes are ojos, ojos. Okay? Our ears, there are actually more than one word for these, but we'll start with one. Our ears are orejas, orejas. And our mouth is la boca, boca. Your face in general is cara, la cara. And let's jump back up here and talk about hair. There are two words for hair that you'll hear, pelo and cabello. Pelo and cabello. Now don't mess that up and say caballo because that means horse. So you want to be talking about the right thing there. Now let's go to our neck is the cuello, cuello. Our throat, sometimes we have pain there, garganta, garganta. Our shoulder is hombro, hombro. The chest is pecho, pecho. Now let's move down to arm is brazo, brazo. Now the hand is a little bit different. It's mano. The word is mano, but take a little mental note, write it down next to this word. Mano ends in an O, but it's actually feminine. It's la mano. It's not el. Okay? Some words just did that when they came from Latin. Okay? Now, when we're talking about our hand, also our finger is dedo, dedo. Now we get to our stomach is estómago. Accent there, estómago. And our waist is la cintura, la cintura. All right, let's move down to our leg. Leg is pierna, pierna. Knee is rodilla, rodilla. Now move down to our foot is pie, pie. By the way, pie is masculine. It doesn't end in an O or an A, so you might not know that, but it is a masculine word, so it's el pie. Okay, now, our toes, interesting word. Remember fingers with dedo? Okay, so we're going to use that word for the foot. We say dedo del pie, dedo del pie. So it's an interesting way of saying toe, just specifying for the foot. Okay, now, we got several body parts there. Let's move into how we're feeling for a few minutes. We're going to use estar with a lot of these words, okay? But first of all, happy is contento, contento. It's also feliz, feliz. I know you've probably heard that word before in a song. Sad is triste, triste. Nervous, it's a lot like English. Nervioso, nervioso. Calm, if you're calm, is tranquilo. Now think about that in English. It's tranquil, right? We have a word tranquil that means something's very calm and peaceful. So tranquilo. Now if you say I'm in a good mood, that's estar de buen humor. To be of good humor is really what you're saying. And you can probably guess what bad mood is. Estar de mal humor. That M-A-L comes from the Latin meaning it's bad. It's not good news. We have words in English like malignant that it's bad, right? Okay, I'm tired. Give you one more feeling word. Tired is cansado. Cansado. Okay, now that's a fun word because if you leave out the one letter of that and say casado, it means married. So you want to make sure you say cansado. Okay. Now let's talk about some health terms that you may need in the future. I hope not, but you can talk about these words if necessary. First of all, your health in general is la salud. La salud. Now, American people say bless you when someone sneezes. But in Spanish, you say salud, health. We're wishing them health. Chills. Chill. If you have the chills, that's los escalofríos. Escalofríos. And you'll learn later on in the lesson, when we talk about weather, you'll learn that frío means cold. All right. La gripe. La gripe is the flu. It's the flu. Bad news. Now, we used to use this in English, saying the grip. If you have the grip, you got a bad cold or the flu or something. But a cold in general, the cold is el catarro. El catarro. That's a cold in general. Now, a cough as a noun, you have a bad cough, is la tos. La tos. Sick in general is enfermo. Enfermo. Think about in English, we say you're going to go to the infirmary. They come from the same root in Latin. The fever, if you have the fever, is la fiebre. La fiebre. Energy is la energía. La energía, energy. Pain as a noun. As a noun, this is not to hurt, this is a pain as a noun, is el dolor. We're going to use that word later when we talk about how to state something hurts. So make sure you have that one down, el dolor. Okay. Estornudar. That's a big word. It means to sneeze. Estornudar. Okay. To be sick with a cold. This word implies I am sick with a cold is estar resfriado. Resfriado. That means to be sick with a cold. So you can say estoy resfriado or whoever you want to say that estar form with. Now, to cough as a verb now. Toser. So if you learn tos as a noun, just remember it's an ER verb. Toser. To cough. All right. Symptom. The symptom, you have a symptom, is el síntoma. Accent on the I. El síntoma. Now notice, friends, this has an A at the end, but it's masculine. Okay, so it's one of those fun words like hand that had to be a little different. It's okay. Now, to stay in bed, you're not feeling well, to stay in bed is guardar cama. Guardar cama. Now, the doctor, referring to the doctor, is el médico. El médico. All right. Now, the doctor might do this, recetar. He's going to prescribe something. That means to prescribe. And a prescription as a noun, it comes from that verb, la receta. La receta. The prescription. Okay. Now, this is interesting. When you see the doctor, a lot of times you have a cold or whatever, they want you to open your mouth, right? So I'm going to put this up here. Abrir la boca. Abrir la boca. Now, the English speaking doctor says, open your mouth, open your mouth. But in Spanish, he's going to say, open yourself the mouth. Now, that's going to come later when we talk about reflexive verbs. But just know, abrir la boca, he's going to say the mouth, okay, or she. Now, to believe or think is creer. Creer. I think you have the flu. Creer. And that's a verb like we talked about before. Leer, to read, it has two E's together. So when we take off the ER, we're still left with an E. So creo, crees, right? Now, the diagnosis. This is just like English, but say it with Spanish pronunciation. La diagnosis. La diagnosis. Hospital, just use that English word, but remember it's masculine. El hospital. El hospital. Now, an injection or shot is la inyección. La inyección. Just a quick reminder, we've talked about this before, but when a word ends in ION in Spanish, we know two things about it. First of all, we know it has an accent on the O, and we know it's feminine. Okay, so that's just a quick little grammar reminder for you. Antibiotic, el antibiótico, el antibiótico. The dose is la dosis, la dosis. Aspirin is la aspirina. It's almost like the English, la aspirina. And medicine is la medicina, la medicina. And we're almost done. I want to get to the word pill. You know, you give somebody a pill as a medicine, as some type of medicine. There are actually three words that people will use in the Spanish-speaking world for pills, tablets that you use. Again, dialects are different every country you go to. So the first word you might see is la pastilla. La pastilla. You might also see la píldora, or la tableta, la tableta. Okay, friends, I've given you a lot of vocabulary in this lesson, so I want to encourage you to get those words down as much as possible. Memorizing is one thing, practicing in conversation internalizes and gives you long-lasting learning. So start talking about these in context. Just name parts, everything you can, just talk about it as much as you can, okay? I know you're going to do great. That's it for this lesson today, and I'm going to see you the next time on The Language Tutor. Friends, thanks for watching The Language Tutor. If you have a question for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below the video. And please click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our language lessons.